welcome to this week's video. This week we're going to try and go check another 7 watchtowers off my list. Trespassers smile, you're on video, no trespassing, keep out. If you aren't aware, I've been trying to visit every single standing watchtower according to a list I found online, and I don't know how it's going to go today because I was looking at the snow and it looks like it's snowed a little bit over the past week. So we're going to see how far we make it. What I do know is that we're going to take 2 ferries to get there, do a bunch of off-roading to get to the towers, if we can even try and do that. This is slippery. There isn't snot. Holy crap. Is this where the shortcut becomes not any shorter? We're taking my Volvo XC70, which still has a massive power steering fluid leak. Let's get this thing loaded and get on the road. Now that we're on the road, let me tell you the plan. We're gonna go up northwest of Spokane today. I was gonna go northeast, but they got a little more snow, so we're gonna hope that this works out. Our first watchtower should be doable. The rest of them, I have no idea. If you're new to me or my Volvo XC70, then welcome to the channel. My name's Joel. This is my 2007 Volvo XC70. It's lifted on a 2-inch 3D printed lift kit that I printed myself. There is a full video on that if you're interested, as well as a full video on the rebuild, as this is a rebuilt title car. Before we get to that first watchtower though, I need to stop and grab a few more supplies for the rest of the weekend. Alright, we got some supplies, some snacks, as well as some cold beverages, hopefully some nice and warming ones. I'm expecting it to be a cold one tonight. But anyways, I hadn't had breakfast, so grabbed myself a sausage burrito and a little bit of an energy drink here. This is a Celsius Live Fit Galaxy Vibe. That's pretty good. I was hoping for something refreshing, and that'll do her. Now, it is 10 o'clock, so this is really the bottom of the barrel burritos. This is the stuff that's been sitting in the warmer since like 6 in the morning. Still pretty good. I think Yolks does a good job on their burritos. I think they might actually even use real cheese, not American. I'm gonna one-hand this when we get back on the road. It looks like we got about 37 minutes to our first watchtower, so let's get up there. And it is absolutely pouring. I'm hoping I don't get too drenched tonight. Man, that really hit. I feel a lot better now that I've had some food in me as well as some caffeine. But also, I lied about that being the last stop for the watchtower. I gotta stop and get fuel, I just noticed. Good thing I noticed now and not later. The premium on this car kills me. Yeah, this thing gets about 18 city and not too much better, about 20 on the highway. It's really rough visiting the gas station. But anyways, now we're finally on the way to the watchtower, which we're gonna get to in 21 minutes. Let's get on the road. All right, we are pulling up to this place. According to Street View, it is up a private drive, but on Street View, they had their gate open, and it looks like their gate is closed today. There was another way in up here a little ways. I think it's right here. Private driveway. So I did actually plan for this, though it is not optimal how wet it is. I brought this bad boy. That's my electric skateboard. It would have me up there in a jiffy. However, it has no fenders, and I would get soaked, and considering I'm about to go camping, that wouldn't be very optimal. In fact, I don't think I can do that because I didn't even bring any spare pants, which was a mistake on my part. You know what? I could just sit here and wait for someone to come in or go out and try and sneak in. Maybe I'll do that for a little bit before I soak my jeans. All right, it is 10:50 right now. I'm gonna give it about 10 or 15 minutes and see if anyone comes up and goes in there. And if they don't, we're getting out the skateboard. We're situated here alongside the road, and there's a sign way up there that you might be able to see, and that's where the gate is. So we'll see if anyone comes up. Oh, here comes someone down. Let's see. See, I just need to go. And this is very, very suspicious, but we are through. Let's hope those people that left who totally just saw me drive in don't call the cops. But we are in. That was a good plan. I'm not gonna have wet pants. All right, let's climb up to the top of this mountain now on this private road. I've never really gotten communities like this. It's like you're living out in the middle of nowhere, but you also have neighbors as if you lived in the suburbs. It's like the worst of both worlds, really. We've made it up to single lane now, about a half mile. Oh, and now we're hitting gravel. Trespassers smile, you're on video, no trespassing, keep out. All of these signs make me think that I shouldn't go up this road. so let's check the map. There is another road that goes off to the side. Maybe that one's not trespassing, though I can't really imagine. Let's try it. So instead of going straight here, we're gonna go to the right. This must be a service road for the cell tower and that sort of thing. So that's the way up to the watchtower there. Still more no trespassing signs. I don't even think that this watchtower is on private land. Let me check the map though. So it looks like this person owns this land, and then Lookout Point is not owned by anyone, and then that up there, which is that fenced area, is owned by Avista. I'm gonna look at some satellite maps and see if there's any permanent residents up here, and then if there's not, I might park the car on public land and then walk up there. I would just throw the drone up, but it's a little damp for that. All right, so looking at the satellite map here, it looks like there are 2 residencies, one up there, one up there. We're only going up here to the watchtower, so I think I am just gonna park the car and then walk up there and just hope no one notices. Or if they do, I hope they're understanding and unarmed. This is America after all. Here we go. Really hope this isn't one of those things where YouTuber puts crime on video on YouTube and gets in trouble for it, but we're gonna find out, I guess. All right, here we come. I'm gonna take this route through the woods.
Normal is real. Listen.
I think we can successfully check this one off the list. It looks like it's been boarded in with plywood up there, but hey, it is still standing. All right, let's get back to the car. Again, I am listening for vehicles. I haven't heard any yet. All right, I'm just gonna jog back to the car and make me feel more comfortable. Just heard a noise and it spooked the heck out of me. It is all foggy and horror movie-like up here, and Halloween was just a couple days ago. Hey, but the fact that there's no snow up here, I think is a pretty darn good sign. If there's not even the dusting up here, it'll probably be pretty good in other areas. Let's hop back in the car here and get on the road. As I'm sitting here cleaning my glasses, I just realized that what if the gate doesn't open automatically? I really hope it does. Could be awkward if it does not. All right, like I said though, let's get the heck out of Dodge.
The paranormal is real.
All right here, moment of truth. Will the gate let me out? It is, thank goodness. And we are actually gonna be continuing down this gravel road to hit up our next watchtower.
Is it? Just a trip to the trees. The plants are waving, smiling.
And well, just like that, a few miles later, we have yet again hit the dirt. I don't think this watchtower is too far off the pavement, but we're gonna see. Oh, puddle. You can never resist a puddle. It's noon o'clock, and this one doesn't seem to be too far off the paved road, so should be able to check this one off really quick and then get on our way to the third one. I believe that turn coming up means that we're going to be turning off of the main road and onto the road up to the tower. This is pretty much a residential road, and so it's been really smooth. I've been able to maintain about 50 miles an hour, really. Hang on a minute, this is definitely paved. I thought we were going further into the woods. What happened? Yeah, there's even painted lines and everything. I guess our trip on the gravel is just a shortcut. Well, gotta put down a few more miles, I guess. It appears we've made it to our first cow path of the day. Pretty darn close, it's just another few corners. Man, it's just beautiful up here with all the fog. Can you stop, car? I know it was a long climb. Well, we aren't getting much of a view up here today, but this is a pretty cool tower. This one's all steel, it looks like. It even comes with restroom accommodations. Don't mind if I do. I'll bet this isn't the shot you were expecting when you clicked on this video. Well, even though we certainly aren't going to be able to see anything, we might as well climb up to the top. Man, I'm not scared of heights, but this is spooking me a little bit. These stairs are sketchy because the top step is like another couple inches higher than the rest of them. I don't like it. So I do wonder if this is maybe one of the ones you can rent since there's a porta potty up here. Back down to the bottom, so there is one thing I need to decide on my route. I have us planned to go down this road. And of course, it's always hard to tell from the camera, but that's a lot less of a road than the one we came in on. But I'll check the map and see if that's something I want to pursue. I'm gonna get out of the cold though, it's chilly out here. Well, the map didn't tell me much, but we're gonna try it. I was wrong, that was not the road. The green line's where we've been, the orange line is where we're supposed to be. Time to turn around and climb back up that hill. Oh, I think I found it. That's the road we came up, the main road. There's the watchtower up there. And I think this is the road that I have marked on my map. I want to take this one because it's going to be much shorter, save us quite a bit of time, hopefully. And so far this road looks pretty good. You can see on our little map here that the orange line is turning to green as we drive over it, so this is definitely the road. Let's hope I don't have to go back up this. This is some slop.
And so far this road looks pretty good.
God, let's hope I can get back up it on foot even. This is slippery than snot. Holy crap. Is this where the shortcut becomes not any shorter?
Save us quite a bit of time, hopefully.
Holy crap, this is slick. I'm basically just sliding down through the ruts. I'm just gonna walk up ahead here really quick and make sure it doesn't get any worse or anything. Not that I really have a choice. There's no way I can make it back up that. It's too slippery. I also don't know if that car can clear these ruts. I could come way to the right. Then there's this massive rut right here. I could just send it and figure that I'll slide through because it's slippery as hell. I guess that's about my only two options. This is a mess. Well, I'm definitely gonna wanna get up some speed for that. Oh my God, that comes up to here on the stick. That's probably a good 8 to 10 inches. I'm gonna check the satellite imagery and see if I can glean anything. There is a Y up here, so if the other way's better, I should go that way. But I really only get one chance to decide because I'm not gonna be able to climb back up any of this. I hope that looked half as sketchy as it felt, but I must say that was some damned good off-roading, or some luck, but either way, that was impressive. We got out of the ruts, no scraping. Now we just have to tackle this puddle up here, which, as we saw, was not shallow. I think speed and power are gonna be the key. We got that skid plate up front. I don't know what else to say. Well, I will let you know that I did not have any trouble stopping up here. So we're out of the worst of the mud, at least for a little bit. That was stressful. This car did really well, and I think I did really well. You know, if there's someone in Spokane who wants to go on these adventures with me and is okay with waiting for me to set up cameras, get drone shots, that sort of thing, let me know. I could use a buddy for scenarios like that where it gets sketchy. Man, it's just beautiful out here. We're even getting a little bit of sun coming through the clouds. Man, that was stressful though. We seem to be back to a more main road now. So as I drive to our third watchtower before we take the ferry, I wanted to explain kind of what I did up there for those who aren't as familiar with off-roading. I've never had to do it before, but I do understand how this all-wheel drive system works, and so I knew what to do. The car went very sideways, and that was sort of intentional. I stepped on the throttle with the wheels turned, because then that would make the front wheels turn, and then they can dig in and pull me up out of the ruts. And this is kind of counterintuitive because you're going downhill, you don't want to speed up, right? But it worked exactly like I imagined it would in that scenario, and the front wheels pulled me out of the ruts, and we made it down that hill relatively safely. I don't know if I did a great job of explaining it. That was really my first time trying it in real life. Wow, yellow lines and everything. I feel spoiled. Once again, we turn off the pavement onto the gravel. And as you can see up there, the snow is a lot thicker. So we'll have to see if we actually see any. After that last excursion, I'm a little nervous, but we're gonna stick to the main roads on this one. I don't need any more stuff like that today, at least. So far, this looks like a pretty main road, so that's good. Almost there, and we're deep into where it says there should be snow and there is none. Man, we're going downhill and we're this close to it. We must have a very steep climb coming up. We still have quite the climb to go. Look at that hill over there. Hey! We finally made it to some snow. Yet again, this watchtower is up in a cloud today, unfortunately. It was so clear until just about 5 minutes ago. I'm gonna have to make a new category in my tracking that I use for this called I visited it when it was foggy, because this looks like it'd be an incredible 360-degree view from up there. There were no monsters, still I'm chasing. I'm out of breath because of the altitude, not because of the stairs. That's what it is. That doesn't look sketchy at all. This one's definitely locked, unlike that one that we visited with the Volvo earlier. As I come down, if I step too heavy, the whole thing rattles. I'm sure some viewers will not appreciate that, but I trust this thing. It wasn't rusty or anything. Well, I guess there's not much else to do up here. I guess I'll head back down the mountain and head to that ferry. It leaves twice an hour at 15 minutes and 45 minutes from this side of the river. Shouldn't have to wait too long. It's funny that this ferry is better than a lot of public transit in the city of Spokane. Let's get her back on the road. As we leave that watchtower behind, you might be noticing that Lee is not here with me. Instead, I have some gear in the passenger seat. The main reason for that is she has a soccer game. It's the first one of a new league, so she did want to be there. And I don't think she'll mind me saying that I don't think she enjoys the cold camps near as much as the nice warm camps. I almost started hiking when I came to this part on the way up, but turns out it was fine. I almost think that they don't like people coming up to these watchtowers really, and so they put stuff like this as squirrel catchers or something to keep everyone from going up. Yet again, we're going down a different way than we came up, but this kind of seems like a more main road. Knock on some fake wood trim. Yeah, we're gonna head down this road here that starting to look worse and worse, which seems to be a trend. Oh geez, that's a rut. All right, yeah, we're gonna head down this road here and we're gonna go find that ferry. I don't think it's too long of a drive, but that depends on how bad this road gets. Either I'm gonna have to absolutely send it through here, or we're gonna turn around.
This kind of seems like a more main road.
I think if I can keep the wheels out of the ruts, it'll be okay. And even the ruts aren't that bad. Yeah, I think this will be okay. I do see a tree down, so I'm gonna walk up and see if there's a way around that.
But we're gonna stick to the main roads on this one.
Yep, looks like someone set up a way around the tree. I guess we'll get headed down this way. It looks like it'll be all right. Famous last words.
Creating our memories, defining our memories as the difference between you and me. Writing our history, creating our memories.
This road is pretty gnarly. I just do not learn, do I? I had a good route up. Why didn't I take that route down? Oh. I don't know if you could hear that, but I was getting my money's worth out of the skid plate.
Defining our memories, the difference between you and me. Writing our history, creating our memories.
Roger, we have a problem. So if you go back and watch any of the videos where I rebuild this thing, you'll know that the bumper's zip tied on. The worst part is I'm gonna have to put it back on now. Well, it's covered in mud. Fortunately, this is the better of the two sides, as this side has all the clips and stuff intact. The other sides are broken. Let's see if I throw in my zip ties. Hey, look at me being prepared. I'm gonna certify that as good enough. Let's get back on the road. So this is what I'm looking at on my map, and it looks like this road becomes a bigger road. Then you can get out to the main road. But up here, it says it's a dead end. It doesn't make sense that it'd be a dead end on the way out of the woods. And there's also obviously been a bunch of vehicles that have driven through here. And it looks like even like recently, like today or yesterday. I'm gonna try and go forwards. Nothing says no trespassing yet. I will check the private land layer before I do it though. I think all it is this Sherry L. Perry and William C. Gunter not wanting you driving through their property. I mean, I kind of get that, but I also hate it. Like, we're just driving through, man. There's a main road. Gosh darn it, it looks like my little bumper escapade has cost me. If you know how the rebuild of this went, you'll know that I spent so long making the park assist work on this car. I probably tore the wires. I think I will be taking the detour. There's some mud or rocks in my brake, which is not exactly making this the most stealthy escape that I would have liked. Oh geez, there's people here. Is it really a dead end? We're gonna find out. It's kind of looking like this is just a driveway and it should connect up to roads. And they just put up those dead end signs because they didn't want people driving through here. Which, I mean, kind of screw people who do that. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe it's a private drive, but still, it's access to public lands. I don't know. It's an issue, I suppose. There should have been a right of way for it. It looks like we're gonna be able to make it to the main road though. I mean, knock on some fake wood. And we're back onto pavement. I cannot believe this car made it through all that stuff. It's crazy what a set of rubbers and 2 inches will do, if you know what I'm saying. Got about a half-hour drive to the ferry, so it looks like we're gonna be on the 315 ferry. Man, I am sweating. That whole experience is stressful between gnarly terrain, the bumper falling off, driving through what might have been private property, but really didn't look like it. It'll be nice to cruise on the highway here for a half hour, man. Excuse me. Just saw a ride crossing back over towards this side of the river. The river we're about to cross here is the Columbia. I've spent a lot of time around the Columbia, all down by the Oregon border. This is my first time ever experiencing it up closer to the Canadian border. Here come the cars deboarding. Man, you could sure feel it rock as the school bus behind me got on. Looks like we're gonna have about a 5-minute wait and then we're gonna take off. I think I read, as long as the boat's loaded, you can get out, so I'm gonna do that. So I was complaining about the fuel prices earlier, but here they don't even have premium or mid-grade. It's just 87. I still have about a half of a tank or so of premium, so if I put some 87 in there, it'll be like mid-grade. And this car's smart enough to adjust the timing to compensate for that, so we should be fine. But yeah, we're having to fill up already because this car has gotten like, I think 14 miles to the gallon average over this trip. But yeah, we're gonna top it off with some 87 and get back on the road. You don't want to be stuck out in the woods without any fuel. Back on the road towards the next watchtower. There's some snow around here and we aren't even on the logging roads yet. We might have already gotten all the watchtowers that we're gonna be able to get to. As we near 3,000 feet, it's looking more and more like I'm gonna be camping in the snow tonight. We have actually camped in this car in the snow before, which is a great video, you should go check it out, but we didn't have the all-terrain tires on it yet. All right, so this is our turn off and this is what we're looking at here. It's very wet and slushy, which isn't quite as good as if it were powder, but it's much better than if it had frozen to ice. I'm gonna go ahead and make some yellow snow, then we're gonna continue on because other people have already been here. So that does induce some confidence for me. So far so good on my bumper repair. Held up to highway speeds and everything. Currently we are at 3,843 feet. The watchtower is at 4,656 feet. So we're gonna be gaining another 800 feet. I'm gonna have to be really careful here. I'm all out here by myself. And if it looks at all sketchy, we're gonna be hiking it or just not making it. As we near 4,000 feet in elevation, I feel like I should share with you that I just realized I forgot my sleeping pad. I think it's gonna be okay. I did bring an extra sleeping bag as well as my underquilt for my hammock, so I think we're gonna be okay. All right, that's it. I'm gonna turn around on the road here. No longer can you see the gravel through the snow tracks. We are at 4,133 feet. Time to turn around and I think look for camp. I don't think I'm gonna be making it to any of these watchtowers if I'm not making it to this one. I can't fault the tires or the all-wheel drive system. I think this car could have made it a lot further, but I'm just out here alone. It is not worth risking it as much as I wanted to make it up there. It is now 4:17, which means it's gonna be getting dark pretty soon here. So I'd say it's about time to start looking for a place to camp. I just checked the map and I was only about 2 miles away from that watchtower. I am tempted to walk up there, but that'd take a good, what, 40 minutes or something? By then it'd be getting dark and I really need to find a place to camp. Well, we're now back down to 3,300 feet and we are completely out of the snow. This looks like promising campground material up to the right. There isn't much of a trail here, but this might be our ticket to camp. Good thing this thing's a rebuilt title and I don't care about the paint. I hope this isn't like that time where I cleared a bunch of trail only to find a dead end and nowhere to camp. That was a really good video though, so you should go watch it. Well, that's it. I'm calling this camp. That road was pretty gnarly. It reminded me more of ATVs than cars. It does continue, but I'm out of breath because I had to walk down there and it didn't really seem like it got any better. It goes downhill. So I think I'm gonna choose this spot right here. So since I forgot my sleeping pad, I'm tempted to use the hammock, as obviously that might be a little more comfortable, but I am concerned that my underquilt is not gonna be enough for these temperatures. I think according to the car, it's about 37, so just above freezing right now. And obviously once the sun goes down, it is just gonna get colder. And I think that underquilt I have is really only good down to about 32. Again, it's the altitude, not the fact that I'm out of shape. Definitely the altitude. It really does look like someone came through and cleared this trail, so someone must use it. Well, I might as well show you what I decided not to camp, and you can tell me if I made the right decision or not. You can see the sun a little more down here. If you're not familiar with hammock camping, you might not understand why I think I'm gonna be warmer in the tent, and that's because when you're in a hammock, there's just air blowing under you, so your backside, even with a sleeping bag, is just gonna be whatever temperature it is outside. And the reason a sleeping bag doesn't help is because all the insulation gets compressed, and then doesn't provide any insulation, of course. So an underquilt actually sits underneath the hammock and provides a layer of insulation outside of the hammock. That said, it is something you need to be concerned about in the tent as well, because I will just be lying on the ground, and so I will be whatever temperature the ground is. But in the tent, it would be easier to make a mattress out of my one sleeping bag and then sleep in my other sleeping bag. But then the problem about where do I pitch the tent comes back into play. All right, I have moved the car over here just in case someone comes down the road, which I don't think will happen. And I think I've decided on the hammock setup just because I do have that underquilt. It might be a little warmer and it'll definitely be comfier than a tent without any padding. Now I just need to decide where I'm gonna hang that hammock. It looks kind of like there's a little natural pit in the ground right there. I think I'm gonna make that my fire pit. And I think I'm gonna go from this tree to either that tree or the Volvo for my hammock. Now let's stop talking about it and get doing with it. All right, that was quite a bit of a faff, but let me give you the rundown. I think you've seen all this equipment before if you watch my videos, but never in this configuration. So here's the underquilt. As you can see, it hangs on the outside of the hammock. And then we've got our hammock. This is my top quilt. It's just an old mummy bag that I have, and that goes on top of me, but not beneath me. And then this orange thing you see here that's really small, this is a sleeping bag liner. That's just to keep me comfy, really. And then if you look way down here, what's taking up most of the room in here is my car camping sleeping bag. And I'm thinking I lay on top of that, and that will be enough to keep my backside warm. We'll have to see. Now I gotta set up the tarp because, well, I don't think it's gonna rain or snow. It could. With how long that took, can you tell I was never in the Boy Scouts? Man, I'm terrible at tying knots. I need to learn some. All right, that was the chore done. Now it's time for fun, which means I gotta start a fire. And it looks like I timed it just about right. It's 5:30. Sun has set. We're gonna get a fire going here. So I've never built a fire in the snow before. I'm hoping that I'll just set this here and then I'll build it on top of this and then it won't get all put out because of the wet. Fire starters, we got a paper bag from the groceries I bought earlier and a preview of what we're drinking tonight. If you watched the video where we camped outside of a HAMMOCK, which you should, it's a pretty good one, you'll know why we have all this dimensional stuff. It's because my dad's working on a project and he had it left over. It is mostly cedar, I believe, so it should go right up, but it is kind of hard to build a fire with all of these little scrappy pieces. Oh, I might see a little glow in there. This might be a 3-matcher. Oh man, that Deschutes box really does not want to go up. It was going so well, what happened? Oh, we might have something going there. Looks like I did it. It took a little bit of breath. I'm a little lightheaded, but we got there. Knock on wood. While we wait for this to catch a little more so we can put more wood on it, let me introduce you to the newest member of the channel. So if you watched the road trip down to Moab, you'll know that we left our old camping chairs in Zion National Park at Watchman Campground. And when getting new ones, I thought I might have a little bit of a side grade. I say a side grade because this is obviously much more difficult to set up. But what I really wanted was it to be smaller and just easier to throw it into the car, which it is. And how often are you setting up your chair anyways? Like once per night? And what else are you doing? And there we go. And these are actually, I do find them slightly comfier, though they do have one big flaw. They don't have any cup holders. I have a 3D printer and I'm into 3D printing, and it turned out someone had already designed this. This is the cup holder. It has a little clip, and all you do, clip it onto there. And that'll hold your drink rather precariously. And I know you're asking, what drink are we gonna fill this 3D printed cup holder with? And well, I'm glad you asked. You saw the packaging earlier. It's the Deschutes Jubilee, a festive winter ale. And I knew it was gonna be cold tonight, so I wanted something nice and dark and warm. And let's see. That is exactly what the doctor ordered. That cup holder's even sketchier for bottles. It's really designed for cans. You know, I can't believe I wasn't completely happy with this place when I sat down. It is so peaceful out here, and there is a pretty darn good view. Got a great fire going here. Absolutely delicious beverage. Fire is crucial tonight because we are having wieners. Nothing special for the meat, just Costco dogs, but we are doing spicy wieners, which just means I choose one of my favorite hot sauces to put on them. You might not know of this, but I'm a bit of a hot sauce enthusiast. My fridge is loaded. Maybe editing Joel could put a photo in here, but I brought one of those along tonight. I'm gonna throw that on my dog. You know, to be honest, I wanted to stay home this weekend and play Factorio and Railroads Online, 2 games I've been super into lately. But I committed last week in the fleet update video to go camping, and well, here I am out here and I'm loving it. I'm so glad I made this decision. Camping's always such a hassle, but man, once you get out here, it's all worth it. Well, I know that a lot of people try to get out of service when they're camping. I don't really pay attention to it. I like sitting around the fire watching YouTube or something when I'm out here on my own. But at this campsite, there's not a lick of service, not even a bar, so we're being disconnected, which of course is also fine. Well, they aren't the perfect coals, but I think they're gonna be good enough for hot dogs now, because it is 7 o'clock and I'm getting hungry. It's a hot fire.
I tell myself to breathe in, but the darkness.
All right, I think that's about done. I am not a ketchup guy, I am a mustard only guy. I'll take Dijon, whatever, but no ketchup. I am so hot right now. I gotta move back again. Tonight's hot sauce of choice is Chiporro Sosco's Limo Hot, or Limo Hot probably. Yeah, I know it's a sad looking bun, but let's see how it tastes. I promise I've only had 1 beer. Forgot I'd move my chair. Damn it. Oh man, actually that hot sauce vibes with these hot dogs. Whew, I got a liberal amount on there. But man, that was tasty. Man, do I learn nothing? That's exactly as much as the first time. Maybe even more. I'm gonna enjoy this and then we're gonna get some more wood thrown on the fire, wait for it to burn out, hit the hay, or rather the sleeping bag inside of a hammock underneath a sleeping bag above the underquilt. You understand, I showed it to you earlier. No, it wasn't just seasoned by hunger. That is actually freaking bomb. I cannot believe how hyped I am for a Costco dog with some hot sauce on it. That is delicious. So if you do for some reason want to replicate this at home, it's not hard. You need some whole wheat hot dog buns, some Costco wieners, some of that hot sauce I showed you, and some yellow mustard, and that's it. Then you have this, and it's actually delicious. Oh, give it a few minutes, that's gonna be a big fire. How is that for a frickin' fire? And the best part is, I don't have to worry about it lighting the forest on fire, because we're in the winter. If you hadn't noticed, this is my 2nd ever winter camping trip and the only one I've had a fire on, so I'm pretty stoked. This is sick. The goal all night has been to not trip over this. So far, I've only done it once. Another great thing about camping in the snow is you don't need a cooler. I put a few beers out here and they're staying ice cold. I'm rather obsessed with keeping my keychain light, so let me show you how I can open bottles with this collection of things. Do you see a bottle opener yet? Grass is on fire again. It'll go out shortly. It's so weird to say that. But anyways, this thing right here, this is my bottle opener. Not a lot of leverage, you might be thinking. Let me show you how it works. You actually use your finger for leverage. You do need a stout key ring for this. Then you just do that, pry upwards. Let me see if I can show you here. And then it pops off with that little claw there. Now I just have to find that bottle cap, darn it. Usually I can catch it, but I was trying to show you, so I didn't. Found it, don't worry. Don't worry, I'm not littering. Well, that's the rest of the wood I brought with me, so once this is out, I'm going to sleep. It's only 8:30, so I might want to take my time with it. I hope this isn't too bad for my shoes, but when my feet get cold, even though they're wearing full socks, I keep putting them here. Seems to warm them up. I always take them out when my shins get way too warm. I'm nursing the last of the coals, and as I do so, I've got some dessert. Some Hershey nuggets. And the only good kind of nuggets, the toffee kind. As I listen to an owl in the distance, I think it's time to go to bed. We've got my new chair here, which acts as sort of a nightstand. And without further ado, I need to climb into my hammock. My tarp above me is frozen. There is ice on it. Okay. All right, I think I'm in the hammock. And yeah, my butt is on the ground. Oh, there's so many trees around, and yet I chose to use the Volvo. I'm gonna get all settled in. I'll let you know how it's going once I'm inside my sleeping bag and all that sort of stuff. All right, that was a lot of work. I am in the hammock now, but I also am on the ground. I think using the Volvo as a hammock tether is a bad idea. That's my conclusion. So far, my backside is not cold. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Good night. That was actually a pretty darn good sleep. This car camping sleeping bag trick seemed to work. I was plenty warm all night. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. It's time to get up and get on the road. Even the underside of my tarp is frozen. I think it must be because we're kind of in a cloud right now. It was definitely below freezing. I'm surprised I was able to stay so warm. That's what came of our makeshift fire pit. Oh, it's ice cold. Very nice. Alright, I'm gonna try and hit 2 more watchtowers on our way out this morning. So this is the route I've made. We camped at the end of that orange line right there. Then we're gonna drive up to Cody Butte here. We drive up to 4,200 feet and then do a half-mile hike that gains us another 400 feet on top of that. And then this is Keller Butte, and all this orange stuff, that's fire. And so I'm thinking it might be part of a prescribed burn right now, or maybe a forest fire even. So we might not even be able to get close to that, but we're gonna see how far we can get. Nothing else to do but get on the road. It's not looking good. We're at 3,000 feet and there's snow on the road. dropped all the way down to 1,700 feet, and we have to get back up to like 4,200 or something.
We were built to last, a permanent high, colliding like the stars in the sky. And I give you my all, but now I see.
We are coming very close to the end of the road, as you can see from the map there, and we're just starting to hit our first little bits of snow. I think we're actually going to be able to conquer this one today, which is a much needed victory after last night. Honestly, the road's so good that I wouldn't be surprised if my map is wrong and the road actually does go all the way up to the watchtower. It'd be weird for it to stop a half-mile short, to be honest. I'm not sure if you can see it up there, but I can. There's definitely snow up there, but it doesn't look all that deep, but we'll have to see.
Ain't something else changed me. You know what you want, all I ever did was love, and it wasn't good enough. We are trying to make this garden for two.
So we have reached the end of the road according to my map, but it does keep going, though it's getting rather gnarly. I think we can make it up there, but just like yesterday, the consequences if we don't are very high. So I'm gonna put up the drone and see if we can do any scouting.
Take off.
Yeah, there's definitely no way we're taking the Volvo up here. Let's see if there's anywhere better to turn around or if I just need to back down. Yeah, it's looking like backing down is the best solution. Let's just do that.
Roses never blow.
All right, so this is where we're parking it. Not a bad view, eh? I'm gonna put a bag together and then we're gonna hike on up there. It should be about a half mile, give or take. Oh man, you cannot fault the view up here. And it's nice that we actually have a view. Unlike all the towers we visited yesterday, I've got about a half mile in which we're gonna gain 400 feet elevation. And I don't think I'd be considered terribly in shape at sea level, let alone 4,200 feet. Excuse my heavy breathing, but we can see it 10, 15 steps and then taking a break. I might get tetanus by sitting here, but quite frankly, I do not care. Man, what a payoff though. I'll climb up the tower in a bit, but give me a second to recover. So when I said a half mile, that was by the crow flies. I just looked and it was closer to like 0.65, but man, it felt like about 2 miles on flat. All right, let's climb up this thing. Looks like that might be the John. After the hike up here, I might need to use it. As we go up, there becomes less stairs on each flight, and these landings, they're becoming narrower, as does the whole tower. Oh man.
There's no way to explain all the things I feel.
Ooh, the tower is waving in the wind.
I feel weak, I feel weird, just like I'm not even real.
All right, I'm gonna go see if that John down there is unlocked and see if I can leave a deposit. The hike up here really got those bells working.
A gray old house on the edge from home. Walk down the path, knock on the door to see. I'm stuck in a tree.
I don't think Leah would have joined me climbing up this one. Whew. The ways they bent this metal to make it work for this is really interesting. At all these joints, they squashed it over so it could be bolted together. And then check out this bend. I wonder if it was all manufactured up here at the top like that, or if it was a kit that they put together. This is what I mean by the landings being bigger. This one's 4 of those panels wide. The ones up near the top are only 2. It looks like this thing was just set on the ground and no one really has used it. Well, between that thing being unused and me not having any toilet paper, I think I'm just gonna tough it out. Anyone there? Whew. Wow, rather rough in here. Mouse droppings. I think I'd rather stay up in the watchtower. All right, I wasn't expecting that to be unlocked. This watchtower is thoroughly checked off. It's really cool that you can actually climb up to the top of this one. It's not locked. But I need to make a beeline down to the car, and then we need to make a beeline for the nearest facilities. I'm not sure if it applies up here, but I think it does, but I don't think you're really supposed to leave your waste because it's gonna freeze and it's just gonna hang out there all winter. I also need to get on the move again because I was so sweaty after climbing up here that I am pretty cold right now. Oh, I guess it's a good question. Do I think the Volvo could have made it up here? I think that there's a possibility that it could have, but when the alternative to making it up here is tumbling down a mountain or being stuck in the middle of the road for who knows how long, it just is not worth that risk. Plus, a little exercise never hurt me, so time to get back down to the car. This is a much more pleasurable walk, just as beautiful, and I'm not dying. That right there is where we turned around in the Volvo. We're getting pretty close. Man, I'm having to really careful my steps here. All right, time to make the beeline for the nearest facilities. I mean, yeah, I really don't want to leave my waste out here because after what I had for dinner last night, I mean, imagine coming across that thawing in the spring.
If it's wrong and you're not alone, something feels out of place but you have no tell. It's like we want the same things but the lines we've drawn are too parallel.
I have been hearing quite a lot of noise from the front left corner up here. Well, I don't like that all of these are loose. I do have some tools. Let me see if I can just make sure those are nice and tight. And before you comment, yes, I know that's not the right tool for the job, but that toolkit only came with shallow sockets and no wrenches. I probably need to upgrade it with at least some crescent wrenches and that sort of thing. The gravel road behind me actually does connect up with the highway in the direction that I want to go, so I think I am going to take that and see if that helped with the noise. My theory is that the 3D print kind of conformed and warped a little bit over time to better fit on top of the strut and therefore loosen the bolts. I'm not worried about it, and well, I don't really have a choice. I gotta get home. So that wasn't the rattling that I was hearing. I'm still hearing the same noises, but it was something that really needed to be taken care of. Oh, I thought this road went through. Maybe it doesn't. Okay. It's gotten to be just afternoon, and I don't think I'm gonna do the next one as it is at about the same altitude, and I don't have time to do that climb again by foot. It's about a 3-4 hour drive home, and then I gotta get the car unloaded, and I have some stuff that I need to attend to. So we're gonna make a beeline for the facilities, and then a beeline for home, and we get to take a different ferry, which I'm also excited for. I spotted this thing from the road and barely got off the freeway in time. Well, that'll do. Well, that's taken care of, and I'd like to apologize to anyone else who stopped here and needs to use that. But as I was pulling in here, I heard the whine of the power steering pump. Well, add that to the list. We'll see if I can stop by an auto parts store and grab the bulb I need for this taillight, as well as some more power steering fluid. For now, back on the road. Well, we've got 12 miles to the ferry, and this ferry is a little different than the other one. It's actually on demand. So if it's at the other side when you pull up, they'll head on over. I can't tell if it's coming or going, but I think we might have just missed it. Yep, that thing's getting smaller in the distance. I think I hear it heading back this way. Yep, here it comes. The other ferry was kind of loud and old looking, and that one was a lot newer and a lot quieter. Now we just have the small task of an hour and 48-minute drive to get home. Man, if you're ever in the north central Washington area and you're driving a sports car, you've got to see this road. The road that heads south of the Keller Ferry. This thing is wild, and it's really smooth. Like, they just paved it a year or two ago, it looks like. Maybe even this year.
But now you're out of time.
And then it opens up into fields. I guess we're just climbing up out of the Columbia Gorge. Why is it the gorge and not the canyon? I would think it would be the Columbia Canyon, but I don't know. If you do know, leave a comment.
And now you're out of time.
Now we're back on Highway 2 all the way to Spokane. We're gonna stop at AutoZone and Airway Heights and grab some power steering fluid, but I did remember I have light bulbs at home, so we're just gonna make it home without a light bulb. Power steering fluid acquired. Now we're on the road for home. We just about made it, and you know, I wasn't entirely sure we would at a couple of points, but if you liked watching me get to those watchtowers, then I'd like to remind you to hit the subscribe button, see me hit some more watchtowers in the future. If you liked this video specifically, then hit the like button, and if you've got any comments, then leave them down below. Thanks so much for watching. Well, I had like 2 spares, but both of them were broken, so I guess I gotta pick a bulb up. Motorcycles are putting in work drying the equipment. Oh man. These are Gore-Tex shoes, but that only does so much.